I'm told he is ready. There is an 8-hour time difference. This is a pre-dinner conversation. Let's everyone pour a cocktail as Rich gets ready for the Jaguars and the Bills. And he joins us now on the Rich Eisen Show, live from London.
Hey,
Hi,
Andy.
Rich.
What's going on?
Wow. Hey, Richie.
He's coming in hot.
Were you ever Richie?
He was Dickie.
I was Richie, and definitely. There's still some people who call me Richie from high school. I'm sure they call me Dick, but that's behind my back.
Okay.
So, but other than that, yeah, all good here in London.
Good times.
People don't call you Andy, do they? Really, they do?
Well, there is, again, something that kind of Andy goes with Siciliano, like Italian last name. And some people do, but no, if you've known me for more than 5 seconds, you know that you would never call me Andy. So there's an 8-hour time difference.
How's it going?
I'm okay.
It's all good?
All good, baby.
Were you able to watch the game last night?
Oh, no.
Because it kicked at 1,
absolutely not.
Right?
It kicked off at 1 o'clock. I was long since gone. Woke up today. Did the first thing. It's kind of weird because, I have Brian Robinson Jr. in fantasy football. So I could have easily just gone to my fantasy page, but I didn't do that. I thought it would be just too jarring if he had a poor performance for me to see his numbers. So I went and looked at the old ESPN app first, and I saw the final score, and I literally had to rub my eyes, and then looked at the box score and saw that they got curb stomped, and they got curb stomped by halftime. And then I've spent the last several hours, just reading stuff over. I've got the Game Pass, so I watched some of the game back because I'm a lead pipe wielding professional, knowing that I would be coming on today to talk about it. And I don't know if this is what you guys said at the top, but it is the latest example. Certainly, Chris, you and I do the Overreaction Monday deal all the time on Monday. Buddy. How this is a week-to-week league, man, and things can change really fast. You can go from the top of the heap to the outhouse, or you can go from the outhouse to the winning column. And the Bears they were not who we thought they were coming into that game. That's for sure. I thought this would be an easy Commanders victory. And then, after seeing what I saw, it was very simple that basically the Commanders played with no intensity or fire. They didn't compete in the first half. They got down 27-3 heading into halftime, and it just turned out to be too big a hole to climb out, and that's why we ended up losing 40-20. Oh, wait a minute. I'm reading Magic Johnson's tweet. My bad. My bad.
Look at you. Look at you.
My
Magic
bad.
Johnson.
My bad. That was another way for me to learn what happened on Magic's feed. Once again, telling us the straight stuff with the scores and everything. He's like the most decorated, I guess, what would you say? Well, remember back in the day, you'd call 976-1313 to get the phone score, to get the scores, get all your sports news instantly.
I grew up in Washington. It was the George Michael Sports Machine. It was 202-362-4444.
That was it. Like Urban's the modern day most decorated version of that. So put it all together, and you've got a Chicago Bears team that can, in fact, put it all together. And Matt Eberflus gets off the griddle. And then when you see Magic Johnson tweeting out how his team that he's part owner of now played with no intensity or fire, and they didn't compete in the first half, then suddenly you're sitting here wondering about Ron Rivera's gig.
Absolutely.
Because anytime that there's new owners that come in, you've got to sit here and say, everybody's taking stock. Everything's on the table. And, Riverboat Ron, who I adore, getting the nickname Riverboat Ron back in the day when going for it on the opponent's 30-yard line on 4th and short was something that was really wild. Now nobody kicks field goals anymore. And so it's amazing how a team can go from damn near beating the defending NFC champs and taking them to overtime in their house on Sunday, and then on Thursday being down 27-3 to an 0-4 team that was a complete fire of the dumpster, just off of blowing a 21-point lead at their own house. I mean, this is just the ultimate shrug emoji. You have no idea from week to week. And, I can't believe what I, wound up seeing. Obviously not and on live TV, but it must have been pretty jarring for you guys to watch it, I'd imagine.
It was, especially considering the looks. Magic's right. They were dead, and Magic does own 4%, so let's always remember when Magic is tweeting, he's doing so as a member of Commanders ownership here.
Yeah.
They were dead walking off the field at halftime. Like they were, the first couple of drives, obviously flat, and Justin Fields got him in the end zone, and DJ Moore, yay, this is what we traded for. Justin Fields, DJ Moore, this is what we had envisioned from day one when we made that trade back in March. But the Commanders' faces going to the locker room. Chase Young with like a 10-mile stare, and Sam Howell, 10-mile stare. And, I mean, they just look like a dead team walking. And you knew, because we had seen it with the Broncos last week, that maybe the Commanders have a chance here to make a run. Bears fell asleep at the wheel last week at halftime, and then the Broncos came back and won at Soldier Field. And then the opening drive of the third quarter, Sam Howell marches them right down the field. Here we go. They go for two. He dives into the end zone for the two. Bam, we got some momentum. We've seen this movie before. Then they get in the end zone again. But Justin Fields, to his credit, unlike last week, they made plays late. DJ Moore with the long touchdown late, and they were able to put that game away. And Sam Howell had 388 empty-calorie yards there and got me 30 in fantasy, and they padded the stats at the end, but you never felt as if they were in the game. And I thought, Rich, I don't know if you saw this, it was telling what Ron Rivera said to Kaylee Hartung coming out of the tunnel to start the third quarter. She said, "What did you say to your team?" And he gave the old, "I didn't say much. I let them talk to each other." Right? I let them
look each other in the eye. I don't blame him for doing that.
Yeah.
I don't blame him for doing that. I don't blame him. Like, what are you going to say to a team? To a bunch of pros. And he's also one of those guys who's supposed to be known as a player's coach. Like, you guys figure this damn thing out because we gave you a game plan and it totally went up in smoke. And then Eric Bieniemy starts calling plays like he's still coordinating for Patrick Mahomes. They didn't run the ball. And this is not a fantasy thing about Brian Robinson Jr. When you're down 27-3, I mean, talk about abandoning the run. They didn't call a single traditional run play or hand it to a running back, Gibson or anybody else, from the 8-minute mark of the second quarter to the rest of the game. The Bears came in and punked the Commanders in front of a sellout crowd. And this is now what their ownership is expecting, that they're selling out. There are a bunch of fans of this team who are so excited that Dan Snyder is gone. But you have to give it up to Chicago Bears. I mean, I think all of us agreeing that on Friday, right now, here at dinner time in London, and also where you are, wherever you're taking in the show in the domestic United States, we would be talking about Eberflus maybe being gone. And what are the Bears going to do on their mini bye week? And the conversation that's being had nationally is his coaching staff is so inexperienced that there really was nobody on the staff to hand the job to when they would inevitably have to tell Eberflus, 14-game losing streak, now 15 games at 0-5, you're out. And now Fields looks like that for a second straight game, quite frankly, because he did put 28 up before.
8 touchdowns in 2 weeks.
And so now clearly, the Bears are a team who might take you out. And that was really impressive, very important for them, and a tremendous relief for Justin Fields. And now Chase Claypool's a Miami Dolphin. So again, things that you can't predict week to week coming into the season. That was something else, man, last night by the Bears.
As we are speaking, Ron Rivera is on the podium in Ashburn day after. He says, no surprise here, no immediate staff changes coming. I don't know what anyone expected. Maybe some fans there thought maybe Jack Del Rio would be out. That's not going to happen. So no immediate staff changes. Ron Rivera says, and he said it after the game, this is on me. I got to get them better, ready. They can't come out flat like this. But with new ownership that clearly was shown repeatedly on camera, not as many times as Taylor Swift, but there were a lot of cutaways last night to Josh Harris, smiling at times in the booth as he was entertaining people there. You never know what's going to happen. He's sitting back and watching, and the Dan Snyder isn't here. Love and boost can only take you so far. You got to win some games. Rich, are you ready for a Friday tradition of looking ahead to Sunday and your most intriguing games?
Yeah, I'm here from London. By the way, I haven't spoken to TJ yet. How you doing, TJ? You good?
Say hi, TJ.
Rich, what's cracking?
What's going on? What's going on? You excited? You excited for the varsity to take on the 49ers in front of the whole country? You ready for varsity football?
Always excited. Always excited to silence the naysayers. I'm excited to get over that hurdle that we've not been able to get over the last few years. And how are the fish and chips over in
I haven't had them yet, quite frankly. I haven't had them yet. We're going to a staff dinner as soon as I'm done with this second hour. I'm hanging out with you for the whole hour here on this Friday show from London. But one of the many reasons why I've wanted to say hello to you, TJ. Oh, Felly, good to see you too.
Hey, what's up?
Just want to make sure that
it's Friday. You know what time it is.
Equal opportunity. By the way, notice I didn't say hi to Del Tufo. I knew he wasn't there. So, okay. But one of the reasons why is because TJ, I know, I could feel it. I sense it when I'm sitting in the chair. I sense it to my right, all the way from your spot in the Rich Eisen Show studio. Every single time that I have a list, you feel the Cowboys are not properly placed on the list, whether it's a power ranking, whether it's an intriguing matchup, any of my lists. So this one, TJ Jefferson, my most intriguing matchups for week number 5. This one's for you.
Let's go.
High five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Rich's top 5.
All right, well, we start off. Give me the music. I want to hear it all the way over across the pond. Yes. I need to hear the music. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. This one, however, to start off is for me. It's not just for me. It's for those in the locker room who want to do something for their offensive coordinator who seemed to somehow, for the first time in his career, unlock the concept of coordinating an offense for a quarterback named Wilson. This is Nathaniel Hackett, going back to where he went one and done, or not really one and done, about 2/3 and done. This is the revenge game, if you will. Nathaniel Hackett going to Denver. Sean Payton has already addressed what he said about Hackett's gig and the way he handled it. He's already been asked and answered. He's not even talking about it this week. I'm wondering if Aaron Rodgers is going to show up in a Gilligan hat and sit in Woody Johnson's suite in Denver to watch this one. No snap limits on Breece Hall. This is where he also blew out his knee last year, and Elijah Vera Tucker blew out his pec as well. This is where the Jets season kind of took an awful turn last year. Let's see if they can take a turn and keep the Zach Wilson trajectory upward. I don't recall the last time there were 2 games in a row for Zach Wilson on an upward trajectory. And of course, there's the Broncos, who avoided the dreaded 0-4 start themselves in a comeback win in Chicago. Can they come out and beat the Jets and send Zach Wilson on a spiral and Nathaniel Hackett back into the griddle in New York? This one is a late window or a third window on the 4 windows of football on Sunday. That's number 5 on my list. Number 4, it's a paint swapping affair. Every single time the Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Baltimore Ravens. And this one should be no different. Kenny Pickett. Everybody thought he was going to miss some time, but no, he turned Mitchell Trubisky into Brock Osweiler watching Peyton Manning run out on the field. He's playing. And Lamar Jackson and the Ravens thought they were going to have a game in division on the road for the second straight week and see a backup quarterback. That's not happening. What's going to happen when Kenny Pickett in front of all the terrible towels waving in Acrisure Stadium? Baltimore sends Lamar Jackson into this stadium. What will happen when the Ravens and Steelers take on each other? And if the Steelers win this one, they're back above 500. If not, obviously they're under 500, and the Ravens will be 4-1, striding atop this division like a colossus. By that I mean they will have won 3 of their 4 games, all in division, all on the road. They already have wins at Cincinnati and at Cleveland in their back pocket. Can they punch their ticket with an at Steelers win as well before coming over here? I'm calling their Week 6 game here in London at Tottenham, Ravens versus Titans. That's number 4 on the list. Number 3, there is an I in Rich and Eisen. So, number 3 on the list is the game I'm calling. It's the game I'm calling, and I'm not hyping this up just because David Spade, he considers London games. Let me tune in for the last 15 seconds of Jaguars football. That's what he said the other day. This one, however, is extremely compelling. It is Jacksonville versus Buffalo. as Trevor Lawrence returns to the site of his first career win. Yes, it was in 2021 with Urban Meyer, the week after Urban didn't go home with the team from Cincinnati, out here in London, winning a game in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium where this takes place. It is Josh Allen's first career trip to London in his life. He said the only time he's ever been in Europe before was at the 2019 Monaco Grand Prix. So you, TJ,
fancy.
and Josh Allen have something in common, hanging in Monaco together with some fancy people. And the Bills come into this game, one of the most red-hot teams in the history of football. What do I mean by that? Just to show you off, I've been doing some research on my downtime for this game.
Look at you.
This team, I'm telling you. Hold on. I've got my board here just to show off that I take notes, and I got.
We have a Stacey Dale's whiteboard. What do we have?
Whoa! No, this is my board right here.
Boards. I got you.
I want to read the stat. I've written it down. I'm ready to throw it out during the game. Here we go. They are just the sixth team in National Football League history with 135 or more points and fewer than 60 allowed in their first 4 games. The Buffalo Bills are that 6th team. The previous 5 teams all went to the Super Bowl. The last team to do it were the 16-0 regular season 2007 New England Patriots. That's how hot the Buffalo Bills have started, despite obviously having lost the first game to the Jets. I'm looking forward to Jaguars, who are the first ever team to play back-to-back games in London. The Bills arrived just this morning at 7 a.m. They might be jet-lagged. This is the way they handled it. Jacksonville's been here all week. I can't wait to see game number 2, because I'm calling it with Kurt Warner and Jamie Erdahl at 9:30 Eastern Time on NFL Network. Number 2 is just up the road from you guys. You betcha the Eagles and Rams are fascinating to me. Yes, they are number 2 on this list. Can the Eagles go on the road all the way across the country and take on a Rams team that may be having Cooper Kupp back out there? Puka Nacua, fresh off his first career touchdown on a walk-off fashion in Indianapolis. This Eagles defense has been susceptible to the pass. Matthew Stafford and the Rams look to be coming up with the old chunk play after chunk play with the pass. Aaron Donald is going to be the one human being that will end this brotherly shove nonsense by himself. Go ahead and try and shove Jalen Hurts towards Aaron Donald. I can't wait to see that play alone. That's number 2 on this list. And the number 1, TJ Jefferson, it is that game. Cowboys 49ers. I mean, that's basically that all needs to be said, but we all know the 49ers are tops on my power rankings list. They are atop many other such lists. Brock Purdy versus Dak Prescott. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing that matchup, even though they're not on the field together. Micah Parsons versus, obviously, Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey and the rest of that offense. And then let's see what Nick Bosa can affect with the rest of his defense against Dak coming off of that big game, embarrassing New England. This is a game that is a measuring stick for Dallas. Is this year going to be different or not? What a tiebreak this would have for the Cowboys to have in their back pocket against the 49ers for the rest of this season. It would be huge. It would put Dallas on a different pedestal just 5 weeks in, or the 49ers will just basically crush their hopes. That's my most intriguing game of week number 5.
You think we need one more?
Okay, I hear it.
We'll get one more.
I hear George.
I think you get one more.
This is it. This is one more. Okay. I got one more.
Let's go.
Chiefs Vikings. Now then.
Hear me out.
Not Saints Patriots. Like, what are we doing?
You know where we're going.
Yes. Vikings are 1-3. They need it. Can they shock the Chiefs right here? Can they beat the Chiefs? And the Chiefs, coming to Minnesota, just want to keep on keeping on. But I think, Chris, this one's for you. I know how you feel about the Telsey relationship. I know how you feel about Travis. I know how you feel about Taylor Swift. If she shows up to Minnesota, this thing's real. This thing's real. This thing is real. Okay? The first one, she went to see Travis in his house. She went to go see what Travis is like in his Kansas City digs.
Sure.
Travis said, come on out to Arrowhead. I've seen you perform in Arrowhead. You should see me perform in Arrowhead. And he spoke it into existence. The New York one's a no-brainer. She's probably got a place there in New York. I think she does. She lives in New York.
It's on Cornelia Street.
That's what I'm saying. This is that. Now that's creepy. But other than that, makes sense. She's in New York, and again, to your point, Chris, she's got a movie coming out. It's great for her to be seen in New York, the media capital of the world.
Fact.
I get it. He shows up to Minnesota. This thing's real.
See, I think she could do it. She could do a whole Prince tie-in. She can go to Paisley Park. Rich, you've been there at U.S. Bank. There's all that great Prince artwork in the suite level. I think there's a play.
Let me just say this. If she doesn't show up, it doesn't mean it's not real. But if she shows up, it's real. That's my most intriguing games for week number 5.
I think she can get there. She flies private. Like I said during the break, I told Chris, it's not like she's waiting for her boarding group to get called on Delta. She can wake up Sunday morning and hop on the plane, and she could be there. And why wouldn't you want to be there to support your boyfriend?
That's what it's about. It's called love. It's called love. It's called true love.
It's right here. And don't you doubt it. Don't you doubt it. Before we get to what's more likely, Rich, we got a phone call. Should we go to the phones?
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah, let's go to the phone lines. 844-204-RICH, number to dial.
There we go.
It's a trunk call. What do you got?
We got Ben in Ohio. Ben, you're on the Rich Eisen Show.
Hey, Andrew. Hey, Rich and the rest of the team. Go Bears, go Blackhawks, and go Blue.
Oh, look at this.
Wow.
Now, Ben, how tough is it to say those words in the state of Ohio? Let's be honest. How tough?
You know, I've called in before, and you asked where I was from, that I'm in Ohio, and I'm rooting blue. I'm from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. These days, it's a lot easier to say, let me tell you.
Right, that's great. I love it. What's on your mind?
Anyway, first, Andrew, thank you so much for the kind words about Dick Butkus. The man passed, but his legacy is immortal. I'm calling in today because my team's quarterback, Justin Fields, has been the focus of a lot of criticism this season. He responded it by slinging it with confidence for 60 minutes last night. Last night's win was exciting. I'm this close to singing the dang fight song. Congrats, Justin Fields. Bears fans, be patient. Stay excited. Fields worked so hard, and it showed up last night in hostile territory. Fields deserves every chance to succeed that this fandom gave guys like Jay Cutler and Rex Grossman. So keep cheering and bear down.
Bear down. Thank you, Ben.
What fight song is he talking about?
Bear down, Chicago Bears.
I thought he was saying Ohio State.
Make every play, clear the way to
Rich, real quick,
victory.
Do you want to share some Dick Butkus memories from your time with him?
Oh gosh. Sure. Chris, you remember the time when he came in
at the draft, first one in Chicago.
Our radio show studio. We interviewed him in his first at the first draft in Chicago, and to have a guy who personified the style of play for the team he played for and personified the city, and state that he's from, with his style of play. I mean, that was a great moment for us. Look at that picture there with him in his hat. And he was so cool, right? When he walked in the door, it's just one of those few players that you sit there and you see it like, my God, that's Dick Butkus. And again, you just see the footage of his play and the way he hit and the way he patrolled and the way he just was bigger than everyone else there on the field, and then larger in life once you saw him off the field as well. He's truly one of the all-time greats and one of the all-time great humans as well. He came on the show multiple times since that time in Chicago to talk about, your health and having a heart-conscious life, and a man that was full of heart. Being the carrier of such a message made so much sense, because he almost died, and I was still so shocked to hear that he passed away at the age of 80 up there in Malibu. And I do remember that one time when I was up there with my family and had to go running out because Zan, who's 15 now, was probably about 3 at the time, and I had to go running out for some sort of some milk or something, and I ran to a local, supermarket there in Malibu, and I'm walking down the dairy aisle, and I just hear this gruff Rich, and I turn around, and it was Dick Butkus standing there, like shopping for eggs, and I didn't know what the hell to say. I'm like, oh my God, like this is Dick Butkus, and he was so sweet and fun, and just talked football, and just wanted to and I'm like thinking to myself, oh my God, I'm talking football with Dick Butkus in a dairy aisle of a supermarket. Like, what the hell is going on in the world?
That sounds like a Mad Lib.
It really was unbelievable, but he was just so personable. And then, obviously you thought he wouldn't be because he just tore everyone's head off. And then you saw, what he was doing, with Bubba Smith and commercials, growing up, and how he was just full of life and just full of everything that was great about the sport that we love. And I just sit here and I spent a minute just, praying for him and his family yesterday, thinking about him, because it was so stunning to me. At age 80, he left us, and you got to think. I thought to myself, I know a lot of all the players currently on the Bears were never alive watching Dick Butkus, and I'm sure they've seen some videos if they took the time. But I thought to myself, man, the Bears might not lose that game last night. When I woke up this morning and I saw the final score 40-20, I thought to myself, well, maybe Dick in his first moments up there in heaven, sitting up there watching the game with Papa Bear Hallis and the rest of the all-time greats of the Chicago Bears, having a nice cold one, watching the Bears win their first this year. I thought it was all kismet. And I just say rest in peace. So Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, well done. I love that guy. And as you said, I don't think anyone personified a city and a team and a franchise in any town and played at that level better than that guy. He's a top 10 player of all time who's born and raised there on the South Side, went to high school there, went to college, as you said, at Illinois, then came back home, was a first-round pick for that team, and then was the poster child of that franchise and the style of, you see the videos. Like, Rich, is almost to the point where when we ran some of the old footage last night, whether it was on NFL Network before the game or on Prime in their pregame, like, you cringe to the point where, like, can we still show this video? Like,
it
it's
was
so
vicious.
violent. It was such a different style of play.
Right. And there was, I think, a play of somewhere. What was it? It may have been, I think it was like either a fake field goal or something, where
he caught the ball in the end zone, right?
He caught the ball in the end zone, and he was the first kind of shrug, like Jordan, shrugged when he made all those threes, and he shrugged after catching the ball, and then handed the ball to his opponent. And I'm like, now that's 15 yards today, also.
Awesome.
Like, hey, there you go.
And he was so good on TV and in movies. Yeah. And you mentioned the commercial with Bubba. I remember an old commercial, and I think I might have been watching it in college, and maybe we had GN, where he sold this like hibachi that you took to the beach. It was like an infomercial where you burn newspapers and you cook your food. And he was in this infomercial on North Avenue Beach in Chicago, like burning newspapers and making brats on the beach in Chicago. He like had this personality as a pitch man, but yet he was still that grumpy old man tweeting during games and mad at management and mad at coaching. Like he wore everything on his sleeve, but damn it, he loved the Bears. Yeah,
100%. And it made sense that they came up with their first win and snapped a 14-game losing streak on Thursday night, on the day that he passed.
Justin Fields says he learned of it on the Jumbotron while warming up at FedEx and said this one here is for Dick Butkus, and clearly they went there and they won. All right, we've gone long here, so stay there. We're going to do What's More Likely when we come back. All right, time for What's More Likely. Shall we do this?
Let's do it. What's more likely?
Let's
hit my music.
Do it.
What's more likely?
Never say never, but never.
Okay, right. Rich, Andrew, you can chime in as well.
Okay, let's do this.
If you have a thought about these.
Okay.
Rich, breaking news. You're in London right now. For a fantastic football game, Bills, Jags. The Bills, did you know they've scored? You probably know because you've done your research and you've told us about it 7 times already. The Bills have scored 37 points in 3 straight games, at least 37. Did you also know, Rich, Trevor Lawrence hasn't thrown for 300 since December 18th last year against the Cowboys? What's more likely, the Bills score 37 plus or T-Law throws for 300 plus?
I go the Bills score 37 plus. That is more likely. Let me read you some more numbers. The Buffalo Bills defense currently leads the National Football League in fewest penalties, 14. Most takeaways, 11. Most interceptions, 8. Most quarterback hits, 34. Most quarterback sacks, 16. And in terms of best percentage in the NFL, giving up a score in the red zone, just 63% of the time offenses have scored in the red zone against them. And 26% of the offenses going against the Bills, 26% of their drives have ended in a takeaway. That's how the Buffalo Bills are playing. They don't have Greg Rousseau, but they do have Von Miller. So I will say it's more likely that the Bills offense goes off.
And I would say the same. I would say that how about this one? The Bills have won, not scored, but won 3 straight games by at least 28. Longest streak in the NFL since they did it 3 years ago. So if it's score 37, I would say yes. More likely they score.
So many
37.
Stats, so many
yes,
stats.
we have numbers. I
Stats.
did not know that.
All right, Rich, how about this one? How about a quarterback named Wilson to throw for 250 plus and 2 tutties and get their second win, Zach or Russell?
Oh, I'm going Zach, baby. Here we go. I am all in.
You've talked yourself in.
I'm all
You've done
in.
720 on this
That
team.
third quarter did it for you. One quarter.
I saw Zach. No. Pipe down, Browns fan.
Yeah.
Pipe down, Browns fan. Okay? So listen, this is it. We have finally turned a corner. The light is not just flickering, it is on. We saw what this kid can do. He went to a press conference this week and he's like, I'm not waiting until third downs to pick up first downs. How about we pick up first downs on first downs? And I'm like, yeah, what a great idea. You should do that. You should do that. You've got it. I know you've got that drop ready, Felly. I got it. You should do that. That's what I thought when I heard Zach Wilson say that. That's right. You should do that. So, yes, I'm going Zach against this defense. Everybody looks like a Hall of Famer against this defense right now. Let's go. That's what's more likely.
Wow.
Zach.
Wow. Fun. All right. How about this? Who is more likely to take out an undefeated team on Sunday? Whose house? The Rams or the Cowboys, the varsity?
Oh, I'll go Rams house. Wouldn't you, Siciliano?
Yeah, I would go Rams house. I'll be at that one. I do think
that's more likely.
I do think it is the Rams, but there's something odd about that Cowboys. It almost has an NBA feel to it, like the Cowboys-Niners. Richard Sherman made a point last night. It's like, hey, this is the biggest game of the year. This is the Super Bowl for the Cowboys. They needed their whole existence and aura. Everything about themselves is on it. And for the Niners, it is merely the next game, and that feels like, when someone comes in to play Kobe and the Lakers, right? It's the biggest game on their calendar. And for the Lakers, it's a game. We'll see them this summer in the playoffs.
But I'm also, I get it, but I'm also seeing, it's just week 5. Even if Dallas loses this one, they still have 12 more games. Right, TJ? You still got 12 more games.
The season's over. As soon as it's over. You throw in the towel, fire McCarthy.
Yeah,
for Caleb, get Marvin the third in. It's over. It
is a measuring stick, and clearly that's be the first subject matter for Monday's show. But I think the Rams have what it takes to hand the Eagles their first loss of the season. Will it happen? I don't know, but if Cooper Kupp comes back and what Nakua is like a mini Kupp, you know what I mean? Like this would be great to see if he gets back out there on Sunday as potentially expected. So I'll go Rams.
You saying he's a Dixie Cup?
He's a Dixie Cup.
He's a Dixie Cup.
Look at you.
Look at you.
Wow.
I don't say much, but
all the way from London.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done. Yeah.
I think the biggest issue in this game is the Rams stopping the run, and I think that is a major concern. If they can stop the run, they keep themselves in this game of the fourth quarter. Yeah, Matthew Stafford's playing lights out. They should have beaten the Bengals. They didn't.
All right, Slobberknocker coming, Ravens, Steelers. We know last year in 2 games, the Ravens averaged 165 yards on the ground. We know the Steelers offense, no 400-yard total offense games in 2+ years. What's more likely, 165 plus on the ground for Baltimore, or the Steelers finally get 400+ yards of offense?
Say that one again.
165
plus on the ground.
The Ravens have a huge day on the ground.
Okay.
The Steelers
finally have a complete offensive game.
Right.
400 plus.
That the offense is the Matt Canada burner.
This one's easy for me. Well Rich, what do you think?
Screw it. I'll go Steelers.
Oh!
I knew what, because I figured you'd go Ravens. No, I'll go Steelers. I'll go Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens. I don't think you can understate how bad the Steelers' offense has been, and I don't think
again,
Matt Canada's on a burner.
Look what happened Thursday night. Look what happened Thursday night.
Yeah,
look what happened Thursday night. Like anything can change, anything can happen. Pickett's coming back. I don't know. I just think the Ravens are one of those teams that look good one week and look terrific. I trust me. I hope they come into London at 4-1. It would be great for the game that I'm covering. And I just think it's so tough to win 3 division road games in 4 weeks like that. And crazy things happen when the Steelers and Ravens face each other. And what's the craziest thing on that screen? Craziest thing on that screen is they get 400 yards of offense. So I'll say that. And what else you got over there, Chris?
Yeah. AFC South has been one of the surprising divisions this year. Every team at 2-2. How about AFC South rookie quarterback to combine for 300-plus yards and 2 touchdowns in a win? C.J. Stroud at Atlanta or Anthony Richardson?
302 scores and win.
C.J. Stroud has 3 straight games with 275 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I know. You got to go with him. He is the hottest quarterback. He is the hottest quarterback, period, right now in that division. He's the one with a road win in Jacksonville. He's the one that's been killing it. Him and Nico Collins and Tank Dell and, now Damian Pierce is running. And by the way, behind an offensive line that is beyond banged up. No Laramie Tunsil, and he's doing this. So I'll go Stroud just because he has looked the best. I hope Jonathan Taylor plays. It looks like he's trending. That should help Richardson, but I'll go with Stroud in that one.
I'm going to go with C.J. Stroud.
Yeah,
as
gotta
well.
Gotta give it up.
Pre-draft C.J. Stroud slander.
That's nonsense.
How does that look now?
Dude, when he was throwing at the combine, he was the best that was there. I mean, Richardson was more wow because of his size and everything else, but Stroud just looked smooth and terrific, and so this makes sense.
Yeah, A-plus teammate. Agreement. He's getting all of those flowers as well. No one said a bad word.
It's a good thing he's got a Michigan guy to throw to.
Yeah, of course.
What else, Chris? What do you got?
Of course. Okay, how about this, guys? Quarterback named Jones to show any proof of life and glimmer of hope to salvage this season and prevent the fan base from a complete revolt.
Mac
or Daniel?
I'll go Mac. What, Daniel's going to go to Miami and start killing it? I mean, that would be...
Oh, yeah, and the Bears are going to go on the road and blow out the Commanders.
Dude, I was about to say that's even crazier than Bears blowing out the Commanders. The way that the Giants couldn't protect, and now here comes Bradley Chubb and this defense that wants to prove that the previous week in Western New York was definitely not it. And, I mean, that's as bad a game as Mac Jones is going to play all year. How does that sound?
I think so. I think you're right.
I don't know. How does that sound? By the way, I don't know if either one's going to come up with the win, but, Mac's home, Daniel's not. The Dolphins are the Dolphins, and the Saints didn't look all that great the last week against Baker. So I'll go Mac right there.
I think the Saints offense is the most under the radar, how bad it's been. With or without Alvin Kamara, I don't care. The most under-the-radar story in the league right now. Mm-hmm. I also think Mac Jones gets benched at halftime in this game.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll go there.
Wow,
I think Bailey Zappi. I think it's Zappy hour. It's Zappy hour by 2:30 Eastern on Sunday.
I will run into the streets of London and have a pint if that happens, because it'll be a fun Monday show.
All right, 2 more. 1-3 home dog to pull off an upset. Cardinals or Vikings?
I'll just tell you this. I think both lose. I think the Chiefs lose, and I think the Bengals show up and start looking like the Bengals that we know. I think Cincinnati is going to come in, and everything that you hear is Burrow's feeling good and looking good, and things are, but he's not even on the injury report right now. I would be concerned for both home teams right now. So that's the way I'll go. That I don't think it's likelier that both lose by 2 scores at home than the other way. How does that sound?
I agree with you on that. Early in the week, I thought the Cardinals were going to win this game. Later in the week, when Joe says he feels as good as he has all year, I think that's a bad sign. T. Higgins likely doesn't play. The The Vikings at home are fun. I think they make this game fun regardless. I think it is a game in the fourth quarter, so I would say Vikings.
All right, last one. Varsity, TJ. The superstar duo with more combined yards and touchdowns, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, gosh. Come on. McCaffrey and Deebo. I'll just leave it at that out of respect to my friend.
The disrespect
across the aisle. Come on. Okay. I would think what? Like more combined yards? How about this? I'll go. It's 1.5 to 1.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's the way it would be.
So you like Niner blowout?
I don't think Niner blowout. I just think that the Niners weaponry will have their night. The question is, will Dallas? That's what I think.
Love the phrase weaponry.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's the way I'll go here.
I'm with you. I'm taking the Niners there.
All right.
Yeah, definitely.
And I smell a Kittle game finally.
Oh.
That's what I smell too.
I smell coming up on
there.
55:20, so we're gonna have to do the radio break thing.
All right,
here.
Rich, enjoy your dinner. Thanks, bud.
Yeah,
you got it.
But you can stick around for the final segment there for the last 2 minutes
I'm
if you
still
want.
here.
All right, so that's Rich. That's in London. Rich, you should watch the Jaguars and the Bills, everyone. Coming up with game day kickoff at 7 Eastern on NFL Network and NFL Plus on Sunday.
Yep, that's coming. We're doing it.
And obviously, Rich is calling that game.
You have to say 15 seconds to go.
Left.
Welcome in David Spade. You have to do it.
Welcome in David Spade.
You have to do it.
How do I do that? Because he calls London games. Let me tune into the last 15 seconds.
The game's
of
over.
Jaguar.
You've already called the whole game. You've had
What
a
if
great
the game's
cast.
on the line?
The game is awesome.
That was my question.
What if the
if
game's
it's
on the
really
line?
exciting 15 seconds to drive?
What if it's the final play of the game? This is it.
This is it. Thank you.
Welcome,
David Spade. Here's the final.
Welcome, David Spade.
Yeah, exactly. Allen back to pass. You can do this.
All right, real quick. I want to play a Stephon Diggs soundbite from this morning on the podium. Hoskins, go.
I don't know a word that's like a good word. Give me a good word. Huh? Oh, dope. That's not cool enough. I don't know. I know when I was over here, somebody told me I had a cheeky smile. I don't know what that means, but hopefully it's a cheeky connection. It's good, right?
Rich, this morning, Stephon Diggs asked to describe his connection with Josh Allen. He said it's a cheeky connection. Could you work cheeky connection?
Of course.
Into the show.
Certainly, if there's a brotherly shove, that'll be good. That'll be easy if I do that. There's your cheeky connection.
What is a brotherly shove other than cheeky connection called in like British vernacular? Have you thought about that?
No.
A
bum push. It's a bum push.
A bruv. A bruv shove.
A bruv rump bump is pretty good.
Bruv shove.
Okay, we got you.
All right, we got 10 seconds.
I have my marching orders.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.